Hello my creative peeps, and welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I am sharing with you a highly requested video about how I took apart my planner to put it in discs. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is a planner that I created. It's available as a print-on-demand planner on Amazon. It comes in both soft and hard cover, and it is glue bound. But last year I discovered disc bound planners, and I really like using it and wanted to be able to use my planning system inside of it. So I took apart my planner and I punched holes in it, and I have it in my disc bound system, which is really fun and lends itself well to the seasonal format of my planner. My planner is 4 months long. It's designed for you to use 3 to 4 months at a time to be able to plan seasonally with your life. So having the flexibility of the disc, being able to add dividers and other things and move things around and plan seasonally, you know, switch things out as needed, has been just a game changer for me. So today I wanted to share with you how I actually take the bound planner and take it apart and turn it into the ring system. This particular technique is going to work for any glue bound book. Instead of being a signature with a group of pages that's sewn into the binding, this binding is a glue bound book. So kind of like those tearaway notepads, all of the pages are put together and then a thin layer of glue is placed on the spine, and that's what holds your book and your pages together. So if you have this type of binding on your planner, this technique works great for taking it apart. So I do have, as I said, the soft cover version and the hardbound version. I used the hardcover version this year from February to April for that kind of seasonal chunk for myself, and I really did enjoy it. But I am switching back to the disc, so this is a perfect time to show you this. So let's get into it. What are you going to need? You're going to need your planner and an exacto knife, and then of course the punch of your choice. If you're going to do this with your planner, I recommend buying the soft cover to do it, just because it's more affordable and it's less waste. But I do still have this product proof copy of my planner. So this is one that I ordered as like a test print, and I don't really want to use it, you know, with this, and there's some different changes in it as compared to my final version, but I don't want it to go to waste. So that's what I'm going to be taking apart today. So let's get started. First step is to remove your cover. Now, if you're using the soft cover planner, all you're going to do is, see how this is kind of glued together here? All you're going to do is you're going to gently pull your cover off of the binding, and it will come right off. Because I'm using a hardbound book, I'm going to go ahead and cut along this edge here. This is going to remove the text block, so the group of pages, and we're going to be left with something similar to the hard cover. So I'm going to take my exacto knife. I slid it down the top here. I'm going to hold this best I can so you can see, but we're just going to try to hit that groove there as best we can to separate the cover from the book. This is a lot easier if you're not trying to hold it so that a camera can see, but hopefully you get the general idea. So we're just going to kind of cut away, trying not to cut into the spine, but just cutting it away from the cardboard. So as you can see here, this is starting to come out. This is also something you can do with a repurposed book. So if you're taking apart a cover to make a journal out of, this is also how I do that. So 2-in-1 video, right? So this is what the spine looks like. See how there's this gap here? That's what we're cutting down. So again, I'm going to take this. I'm leaving the inside leaflets on the cover. I'm just cutting away this this cover. So I'm going to go ahead, insert my knife straight down into there. I would keep going straight down, but I'm going to tilt it for the purpose of you seeing this without cutting off my hand or anything. So cutting All right, so now we have our cover, and I could actually go ahead and alter this a little bit and use it to create a journal, which I might do because, you know, might as well recycle, right? So now we have our text block. If you're using a soft cover, you won't have this extra bit, but I'm going to go ahead and try to peel off this binding here. It's just extra cardboard and fabric and things. All right. So now this is what we're left with. And what we're going to do, this is a great way to show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel off our pages kind of as if we were ripping it off of a notepad. Like I said, a glue bound notepad. But the trick with this is every couple of pages, you have to cut the glue down or your pages start to really rip and it's a lot harder to get them apart. So this is where your X-Acto knife comes in. So what I do, I'm going to show you with this because it's easy to see, but I wouldn't let this much overhang happen before I cut it off, which we'll get into as we go along. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your X-Acto knife and you're going to lay it as flush with the spine as possible. See how it's right up against it? And you're going to cut the excess off like so. And once you get it started, you can kind of go at this angle, which makes it a little easier. Sometimes using a sawing motion helps, but we just want to cut that extra stuff off. So I'm going to put this down so I don't hurt myself, but I did just want to show you an up close of that. So we're going to take this and try to, again, like I said, get as flush to our cover as possible. Sometimes a little sawing motion works. Ideally, you would use a fresh blade for this, but we're working with what we got. So now that's all set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to pull it away from the glue. This one's going to be the toughest to do because it's kind of the starter page, so it's really glued in there. You might end up with a funky title page. That's kind of just how it goes. So now I've exposed that glue a little more. I'm going to take my knife and do this again. Sometimes it's helpful if you tip your knife this way. See if I can get a close-up of this. So you tip your knife this way, and it allows you to get a really nice close cut. All right. Clean this up. The closer you can cut down the glue to the paper, the less your papers are going to tear. This is a little easier with the soft cover, but again, we're recycling. So I'm going to take my page, I'm going to pull away, down and away from the glue. I'm right-handed, so I'm holding my book like this, but if you're left-handed, you would hold it to the other side. All right, and there's page one. Again, it's pretty janky. We'll end up with some janky pages because sometimes the glue seeps into the pages. There's nothing we can do about that. That's just the nature of it. So go slow. I pull gently down and away and take off your pages. Some pages are easier than others. See how that just kind of tears away? You'll get these funky edges sometimes. Again, it's all part of the process. I personally don't cut them off or do anything to smooth them out unless they're super, you know, rough. But I did just want to show you that because I know those are the little details where you're like, oh my God, mine's awful, I did it wrong, when you're looking at how other people did it. But in reality, you know, it's just the camera. Theirs looks like that too. So, and this is all you do. You just slowly kind of pull these pages off. Now see, I've done about, we'll call it 6 maybe. And the glue's starting to show again. So we're getting this line here where the glue binding is again. So now it's time to cut that down with our X-Acto knife. So I find about every 4 to 6 pages or so, you cut off the glue binding. Now it's not necessary, but I find it's gives you the cleanest tear away if you just keep up on it. And sometimes you'll find, like this end, there's not much glue to be had, but this end has a lot of glue buildup. So it's just all of how it gets kind of put together. Again, I'm using that sawing motion and kind of tipping my blade towards the spine a little bit. And there we go. We're pretty much all cleaned up again. And we're gonna keep tearing. Alright, and we're gonna cut away the glue again. Nice and flush. A little bit of a sawing motion, tilting the blade back towards the spine. Sometimes, especially if you got a nice sharp blade, you end up cutting into the paper a little bit. Don't worry about it. It's happened to me. It's not a huge deal breaker here. And again, like I said, this was a test copy, so you know, it has a different title and some of the things are different. So please don't please don't worry if yours doesn't look like mine or has the wrong name. You have the correct planner. This is just because it was the test copy. These glue-bound planners make great planners to put into a disc or a ring system because there's already the margin where the planner was kind of glued together. They allow for that extra space. So it actually allows for extra hole punching room. So you're not kind of punching into the area or the space that you would need to write on, which is a huge pet peeve of mine. So that's fun. Here, I just wanted to show you, this is kind of what happens when you let your glue go too long. See how it's starting to rip chunks out of the paper? That means I waited too long to take this glue strip off, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off again. It's just because these little balls of glue build up and then you can't get a clean tear. All right, and we'll keep going. All right, here we are on the last leg. I did just want to mention, you can expect your first and your last couple of pages to be pretty janky and possibly kind of a little, I wouldn't say unusable, but I might want to use them as scrap paper or whatever if there's nothing on them, because they end up very torn just because of how it works, and there's not much you can do about it. Again, like I said, you could still punch this and put it in there, but I'll probably just use it as scrap paper. And there's like, yeah, it's 2 pages and then the back page here. So as you get to the back, you know, be as careful as you can, but the glue can be pretty tricky. You can try to peel the rest of the glue off the spine if you're using the soft cover. Sometimes that works, but the hard cover, that really isn't an option, and you pretty much never can really save these back pages that are connected to the bookend papers. It's just not really possible. So there's that. You're left with a pile of glue, some janky pages. I would just kind of recycle this. I'll probably put it in my scrap bin or whatever to test stuff on. It's kind of the inside paper. Same with this, probably. Just cut the janky edge off and add it to my scrap paper. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put all this in the bin. Cap my knife here, and then all you have to do is punch your holes. So this is the hole punch that I use. This is by Levenger. It's a single hole punch for the disc system. There's lots of different options out there. You can use the arc system, which is by Staples. The Happy Planner has one. Levenger has one. There's lots of different disc punches out there now. This is a particular one that I have. This one I purchased probably almost 10 years ago. So I don't know if they make this particular one anymore, but you know, she's still going strong. So that's pretty much it. I'm not going to, you know how to punch things, but I will go ahead and punch some of these and speed it up for you so you can see how that kind of works out. But I did want to mention, if you're doing this process and you're taking your time, it does take a little bit, but I do recommend taking your time because you end up with a lot better results. So here's kind of what the edges look like once it's all taken apart. Again, I don't like to trim my edges. I find it to be a frustrating waste of time, to be honest. I don't really notice it while it's in the planner itself, and taking time to trim all those edges would be painstaking. None of them would be straight, and it takes away from the space where you need to punch so that you don't have so that you don't punch onto kind of the spot where you need to be writing. So just a couple notes there. I'm trying to think of anything you guys would possibly ask me. I got these rings in a bulk pack off of Amazon. You can use whatever rings you want. I'll leave linked below this pack, and I also have like a small black disc pack that I have. So I'll leave that linked in case you want to check those out. My dividers I make myself with scrapbooking paper and a laminator and my little label maker. Some people have asked me in the past about using rings. So you've bought, you know, a discounted Happy Planner or something like that, and you didn't have all of the rings you needed. This is a letter size planner. So if you bought something smaller, you may only have, you know, 5 rings or whatnot. So in that case, you still can do it. I would put 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and then as many as you can in the middle, and kind of leave a couple empty. It'll be a little janky, but you can still make it work. So I'm going to go ahead and punch my planner, and I'll be back to show you the final result. All right, and here it is, all finished and punched and ready for me to put in my disc bound planner. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you found it helpful and that I answered any questions that you might have. about taking your bound planner and putting it into discs. I will leave linked below, again, like I said, everything I possibly can that was mentioned in this video, the planner, the punch, the disc, etc., etc. Let me know if you're going to try this or you have tried it and how you got along with it. I really do enjoy using the disc system. I just appreciate the flexibility, the ability to move things around, take things out, make it as bulky or not bulky as I need it to be. I love having my kind of vision board cover and things. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. I really appreciate your comments and your likes. They do help out the channel greatly, and it is free. So thank you all so much who do that. Thank you to my patrons for sponsoring today's video. They help make what I do over here on YouTube possible while still paying my bills and feeding my dog Shadow. So I'm eternally grateful to them for their support. If you're ever interested in exclusive content, all of that is linked below in the description box. And with all that being said, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.